Westworld Season 4 Episode 1 Ending Explained. After waiting 2 years for the show to return to our screens, we pick up in a world 7 years later where the humans have started to rebuild civilization. There was a lot to unpack following the war, devastation, and destruction that occurred in Season 3. So let's get into this first episode and explain all that there is to take away from it. Here is Westworld Season 4 Episode 1 Ending Explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. The opening episode to the season did a lot of setting up and not a lot of answering, but given it's the first episode, it's natural for the arcs to be established and the foundations laid before details start getting answered. In this video, I'm going to break it down into the different character arcs and the contributions to the overall narrative. Christina. Christina was one of the first new characters that we were introduced to in the season, and the character was played by none other than Rachel Evan Wood, who formerly played Dolores. We met Christina at a point in time where she was working for the company Olympiad Entertainment as a writer for games. Even though she had embodied this newfound persona of Christina, it appeared as though there could be traces of Dolores still present within her. This character seemed skeptical, far too skeptical for somebody who's content with their day-to-day existence. Certain phrases and sentences were absorbed by her when she was going about her day, such as, "This place is wild, I can't believe it's your first time, I know a spot that's going to blow your mind, and also, the tower is looming over all of us." I think that's likely a nod to the Olympiad Entertainment Tower, and how it's likely a dominant force in this newfound society. We also heard of some of her writing, and it seemed to resemble similar stories from the past from when she was Dolores, a young girl living with her father in the country, spending a lot of time with him. It was only our first true insight into the character, but one that definitely showed glimpses of her former self. Throughout the episode, we saw her being stalked on the phone by somebody called Peter, who had phoned her multiple times over the course of several days, and when she did finally answer, he went on to state how she was destroying his life, and how she needed to stop what she was doing, because the doctors believe that he's crazy. When they eventually bumped into each other, he stated how she made him do certain things, and that she's making all the people in the world do what she wants them to. I don't know whether he's speaking about Christina specifically, but more so in the sense that he could be referring to the writers in the company. Based on what he said and also what we heard the group of people state earlier on, about them being able to find a great spot and it being their first time, the game that they are writing could be an advanced form of AR where the realities have been merged together. The people that she's writing for could well be living amongst them in civilization. We heard about how Christina wrote a story about a poor schmuck who lost everything, drowned his sorrows, stalked a girl, and that it ended with everybody dying. This could more than likely be alluding to the future of what the season holds. We've seen Peter stalking Christina, so that could well be the first part of the story. There's no reason as to why Christina couldn't have already seen the events of Season 4 and how it's going to play out, and her former self had it stored and is using it as a means of a story for the work she does. We also saw the all too familiar maze that was written out on Christina's balcony, further supporting the idea that Dolores is still present within her. One of the final times that we saw her, we witnessed her being saved, and judging by the final shot in the episode, it was likely Teddy, who is in this world and is still connected to Dolores in some way, showing that there are definite traces within her. Christina's role in the show is going to be an interesting one, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out for her, and if Dolores will ever be able to surface to the forefront again. William. The Man in Black is back, and it was the host version of his former self that we saw created at the end of Season 3. This season opened with him approaching the cartel at the Hoover Dam, slaughtering them and sticking by his word in not paying a penny for what he desired. We saw a newfound technology that he utilized, which was a swarm of flies that seemed to have the ability to control the victim's mind. We've seen the humans control the minds of the hosts, and it be the main focal point of the show. But with this new piece of technology that allows the hosts to control the humans' minds, it could flip the show on its head. This caused one of the cartel members to act against them and in turn kill all of its members, before handing the information over to William, and then proceeding to take himself. It's a powerful weapon that I feel we've not even seen the full force of yet. William is out there to purge all of the hosts that are living amongst society, such as Maeve. We witnessed Maeve's location get compromised, and William sent hosts out to destroy her. We also saw William have a vendetta against host sympathizers, with the likes of Caleb also being on his hit list. They both managed to evade the danger, but that's most certainly not where William's going to stop. Caleb. We saw Aaron Paul's Caleb living his life with his family. However, the events of the past were still sticking in his mind. PTSD was something he was living with, and he was now a construction worker whose mind was stuck 7 years ago. We saw him with his daughter and partner, where his paranoia was almost rubbing off on his daughter, who we saw was mirroring his behavior. In the end, he had similar closing moments of the episode as to what Maeve did, with William's hosts hunting him down, before then proceeding to team up with Maeve to stop them from going after them again. This led him to leave his family to go off with Maeve, much to their disappointment. His passion for the fight is something that never truly left him, and he enjoys it due to the fact that when he's living his usual life, he feels a lack of purpose. Maeve. We witnessed Maeve living out in the rural countryside, and we heard this point emphasized when the shopkeeper stated how she lived far off the beaten path, highlighting that for the past few years she'd been avoiding civilization and wanting to be hidden. We saw the flashbacks of her daughter, who we now know is in the valley beyond, but that hasn't stopped the yearning that Maeve holds to be reunited with her. We also saw her have flashbacks on all other occurrences from season 1, 2, and 3, of the chaos and carnage that had been caused, and the loss that she's experienced. However, one piece of dialogue that stood out to me was that this is the new world where you can be whoever you want to be. We've seen her embody that, but it doesn't appear to be the existence that she actually wants to have. There was a power outage in the episode, which caused a signal of her location to be released, which then allowed the hench hosts to be sent out to destroy her. But with it being Maeve, she was able to evade, and with the use of tapping into their system, she was able to see that William was back, and was the person who sent for her to be destroyed. With the end of the episode focusing on her locating Caleb, and likely going to be heading to Delos to deal with this situation, that's something we will likely see on the horizon. But not after going to speak with the senator in California, who William is also extremely interested in meeting. The first episode was an interesting one for sure. It set the tone, laid the foundations, and refamiliarized us with the characters for the season. I'm looking forward to seeing how episode 2 builds upon it, and I hope we see some of what Bernard saw in the closing moments of the final episode of season 3. So, there you have it, Westworld season 4 episode 1 Ending Explained. If you want to see more videos on some of your favorite shows such as Endings Explained, theories and predictions, and character breakdowns, then click on the I button. Or alternatively, you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. If you'd like to give me a show or movie to review, then head over to my Twitter @BrainPilot_, and tweet me what show or movie you'd like me to review next. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. What did you think of episode 1? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.